you. Nice to meet you all. Good to be back in Harlem after working here last year. I've been at City College. I'm a professor at a bunch of schools. And it's good to be back in Harlem.
Welcome. We're happy to have you. And we'll follow the same pattern as we did before. Let me just start with a slightly different question in relation. I've got a whole bunch of papers here, including faces and names. I think you might have. Is that your?
Yeah, I wrote a speech, but I'd rather listen to your questions.
Okay. I have a backup here. So, we're going to talk about public health. Police arrest people for prostitution-related crimes simply because they have condoms in their possession and confiscate condoms used as evidence, confiscated condoms to use as evidence of prostitution. Both sex workers and social service providers inform us that this practice discourages condom use amongst sex workers and people profiled as prostitutes. A bill currently in the New York State Legislature, Bill S-1379, or Assembly Measure 2305, would disallow the use of condoms as evidence of prostitution. What is your position on this bill?
Could you just state the last sentence again, please?
Sure. So the bill is currently in the state legislature. Sex workers and social service providers say that the practice discourages condom use among sex workers and people profiled as prostitutes.
Okay. It discourages prostitution among people profiled as prostitutes and sex workers.
Well, I'll rephrase the question this way. There are sex workers, and if they're going to be sex workers, one would hope that sex workers are using condoms rather than a law targeting condoms as evidence, therefore discouraging those sex workers from actually using condoms in the practice of what they do. Then people ostensibly who are not sex workers, but who are practicing safe sex out on a date, who are found with condoms on them, are presumptively sex workers. So so what is the question? What should we do about this practice of stopping people? The question is, would you support the bill currently in the legislature that would prohibit condoms as use of evidence when found on people stopped by the police?
Yeah, I remember reading an article about that over a month or two ago. I think that it's a bit misleading if you find a condom on someone that they're definitely a sex worker. I mean, some people might be seeing a husband, a younger husband, or carrying it for other reasons. Perhaps they got it for free at school, like City College, where they were giving out condoms last year, or some other, awareness activity for AIDS or other reasons. So, yeah, that's true. A condom is good for safe sex. It's given out all over the city. It could be given out by an AIDS awareness group, or perhaps maybe Planned Parenthood would give them out. So we think condoms are good to have. We understand they're sold in all the normal drugstores like CVS, Duane Reade. We know it's important to wear a condom if you're having sex where you can get diseases, and I don't think it's a proof that they're in prostitution, or a lead that they definitely are.
Okay. Surveillance in Muslim communities. Since the events of 9/11, the NYPD has implemented numerous surveillance programs throughout the city directed at infiltrating Muslim communities in an effort to prevent future terrorist attacks. In particular, the NYPD has placed undercover personnel in mosques to monitor and scrutinize the activities and conduct of their members. In 2012, the AP reported that such surveillance program had generated not a single lead or resulted in a specific terrorism investigation. Prominent attorneys and civil liberties activists have criticized these surveillance tactics. The mayor and the police commissioner have defended them. What is your position on surveillance of Muslim communities as currently implemented?
Okay, well, about the stop and frisk situation, our stance is that it's good to follow the leads to some extent about who might have a handgun, but they have to be very specific leads, not done in a discriminatory way, to just stop some people who look Muslim or African American or Arab who are men is illegal, and many of the people stopped, including someone who was volunteering for us a month ago, were not people who were going to have illegal handguns or to commit crimes and murder. So we think that perhaps a different method could be used for stop and frisk to make it non-discriminatory, perhaps use statistics, stop something like every 100th person on a block. Make sure when you stop something like every 100th person or so, make sure you stop and frisk women, also people, different races, whites, Asians, Hispanics, lots of different kinds of people. And if you have leads about specific people, you should do that and stop them as well. And perhaps they'll find more handguns, and it's illegal to discriminate and stop, say, 3 other Muslim people if you have a Muslim lead. So for that reason, you shouldn't stop extra people who happen to fit the racial stereotype. Yeah, so that's we think it's illegal, that it's discriminatory.
Okay. This would be a good time, I think, to tell us a little bit about the week. So you are representing a constituency beyond Democrats, so maybe we'll talk a little bit about you. About me?
Well, I prepared a bit of a speech, and I don't know if I have enough time to give it to you.
Well, I'll give you 4 minutes.
4 minutes.
So you have 30 seconds here.
It's prepared, and I think it's better than anything I could say spontaneously. I prepared a speech to give to a crowd at New York Law School for some event they had for some other types of people, and I'd like to share it with you as well. It's nice to meet you all tonight. I haven't had the opportunity to meet any of you yet, for the most part. And my name is Ceceilia Berkowitz, and I'm running for mayor of New York City. I am a university business professor and part of the Wharton Alumni Public Policy Initiative, where I work as part of a team to influence the federal government as our policymakers in Washington. I have a great combination of professional experience, educational background, and connections in politics. I also have an equally good plan and vision to help improve New York City after Mayor Bloomberg, my good friend, completes his 3rd and final term in office. My vision includes a combination of several core political issues made popular and implemented to an extent under the Bloomberg administration, with a different strategy and approach to achieve good results in the next mayoral campaign. Our goal is to make New York City a great place to live and work. One of our major initiatives is to work toward lowering crime rates and lowering the murder rates in New York City by keeping illegal guns and guns used illegally off the streets. We support the Mayors Against Illegal Guns Coalition, requiring background checks to not put guns in the hands of those who will use them to murder. I also work in Jersey City as an MBA finance professor at St. Peter's University, and yesterday, I met with Mayor Healy in Jersey City. He received a Bloomberg and an Obama endorsement about his high-quality work with illegal handguns. As mayor, I plan to implement this in New York City for our citizens, residents, business travelers, and clients and tourists. And then I'll tell you 1 or 2 more initiatives. We want to improve public school education, continue what Mayor Bloomberg and Chancellor Walcott have begun to implement in terms of improving public schools. Our approach is slightly different than Mayor Bloomberg's, as we plan to seek out and listen to and respond, as well as include feedback from parents, children, the community, teachers, principals, and unions. We want to keep high standards in school, improve the percentage of future high school graduates who are ready to go on to college and take on equivalent good paid jobs after graduation. It is important for New York City to benchmark across against other major cities like Philadelphia, Newark, Boston, Houston, San Francisco, St. Louis, and Chicago to make sure we're achieving as good results as possible. Benchmark and compare with suburban high schools, Scarsdale, Greenwich, Westchester, New Jersey, with top schools like Bronx High School of Science, Stuyvesant, and with international schools in London. By setting higher standards, better results than otherwise can be achieved. A good educational system is essential to a large city and will help improve the economy in near future, create jobs within the next decade, and reduce the need for tax and transportation fare increases, help reduce crime. Students need to write, read, and perform other academic skills at a good level in our New York City public schools, and teachers are treated well as employees. They can be paid fair as a result. And a third initiative is to create economic and financial prosperity, which is perhaps one of the most important things. We think it's important to scrutinize the budget, put more people on that task, make sure that they eliminate inefficiencies, whether it's people who are nothing like you and perhaps don't even show up here or anywhere important, even during the workday, and collect large salaries, or people who have buildings, for example, that are not being used. The mayor showed us he sold some buildings, and perhaps other sources of inefficiencies in the government. Yes, and I also, so we want to eliminate the budget. We don't want to cut people's taxes, and that's our plan.
No, it's okay. No, we're going to have a very civil engagement with our candidates, so we appreciate you sharing your platform. We appreciate you taking our questions. No, it's good. And we appreciate you coming to the Schomburg Center to express yourself. So thank you very much for being here.